Hello, I'm Mr. Riggs, and this is a rough-turned white oak bowl. I cut this piece of wood into slabs about 10 days ago, and then I roughed these out the next day. So in a week or less, it's already started to crack. At least this bowl has. This one from the same batch is still fine. There's no cracks. And even this one, which is a lot larger, this is 10 and a quarter by at least 4 inches. That one's fine, and there's some others as well, but those are the biggest ones. This one has started to crack up here, right around this figure and around that knot. I'll include a picture so you can see it a little clearer, but in less than 7 days this has started to crack. So what I'm going to do is put it on the lathe and finish turn it, and this is what you'll see in this video. So we'll salvage this bowl from cracking even further and just being turned into firewood. We'll get a green turned bowl out of it. It'll still move a little bit because there's still some moisture in it. I'll mount it on that groove on the shoulder. Five-eighths bowl gouge. And this white oak is still wet, so the shavings will stain the lathe bed if you don't keep it clean. That marks out the size of the tenon for that chuck, for those jaws. A little bit faster, up to 990. And I'll take a shear cut up the side with the bevel rubbing. sure it's going to have to be changed for that crack. There's the crack. Right there, it goes down to about there. So that's where we have to worry about it. This knot, I'll just pick it out, and whatever comes out comes out, and it'll just be kind of a decorative feature. It'll be a character, as they say. Now, either the bowl is going to have to come down to this level, or I can turn that away. It goes in from the top, so there's no saving that rim as tall as it is now. So I'll go ahead and take away a little bit of height. And it's still pretty much almost all the way across, so it just might have to come down to this height. If I'd caught it a little earlier and it just started out here or just started up here on the rim, I'd have been able to turn it away and still keep the larger dimension, the larger diameter or the larger height, but it's okay. We'll still get a good bowl out of it, but it's probably going to have to come down to this line or very close to it. When working with, I might have got rid of most of it. I can still feel it there though. When working with a split or a crack in a piece of wood that you're trying to get rid of, there's a lot of stopping and starting involved. You don't want to leave it. You don't want to inspect it and not see a little tiny hairline crack, because then when you're finishing the bowl, sanding and finishing, that's when it rears its head again, and there's less design opportunities then when you haven't shaped the whole thing. Yeah, it looks like it's all gone. Now this rim is still sloped in that way, and that could be a design choice. You could have the top of the rim slope upwards and inwards, and then the usable area of the bowl go in that way. That is very possible. Might do that. Could try it. But as a fruit bowl, that looks more like a closed form with the rim up like that, and with the fruit bowl I definitely want it to be more of an open form. So I'm probably not going to do that for this bowl, but it is a possibility. So shape doesn't look bad. That'll help quite a bit. Alright, let's finish up the foot, the profile. The profile really looks fine. The only thing that really needs attention is right in here where it connects to the foot. So I'll get the square end scraper. Use that to, I'm going to refine this curve into the bottom of the foot. And if you've seen my other videos, I do touch the bowl a lot while it's spinning to feel it, but with a knot like that, you don't do that because your finger will go right in there. Worst case scenario, it could slam it onto the tool rest. Best case scenario, it just hurts and scares you. That actually looks really good. So I think I'll use this sharp corner. That'll give us 2 grooves, which really it looks like a bead that hasn't been rounded over. So that'll be good. And it is a little concave, which is what we want, so it'll sit on the rim, but I can see a little bit of a mark from where I use the calipers. We'll round it over just a little. Good. And with that sharp corner on the side, I'm gonna get in there, and then on the other corner, now with green bowls, it really does pay to check everything before you start sanding and finishing, because things can pop up. I think that looks good. So now I'll sand it best I can. And then we'll move on to hollowing. I'm going to turn it back on to get that oil out of those grooves. Don't want the oil to build up and sit in there. There we are. Now we can flip it around. And do the inside. We just flatten off this rim. I think I feel a little something. It might just be that different grain there. Usually if there's a split, you can push and pull the wood apart. It looks alright, but maybe I'll take it down just a touch more. Now would I like this to have a wide... That would look nice, wouldn't it? Let's make it a little bit smaller. There's that knot with pieces flying out. Yes, there it is. Yeah, that wall thickness feels just about right. Not going to be much touching and feeling of this while it's spinning. Another thing to keep in mind is I need to make sure the wall thickness and the shape is the way I want it, because once I remove this material in the center, this is going to start to move and flex. I can already move it just a tiny bit, but I'm done up here. So if you hog out all this and then go back to the rim, even on a bowl that's solid, you could destroy it because of the flexing rim. You go to present your gouge to it and you have a nasty catch. So I need to take a little bit more out right there. And like I said, this is a lot of stopping and starting. A little bit thinner, and then I might be able to start work on the bottom. Right now I'd be feeling the bowl while it's moving, but with that knot in there, I don't dare to risk it. We're getting there. And I have to be really careful with this. I am supporting it by touching the very edge of the rim, but where I'm scraping is right where the knot is. That feels good, but it needs to be a little thinner. Just a little bit more, right where the knot is. I like scraper. I crossed the bottom of it, but I don't have much on it. And that knot seems to be just fine right there. That feels good. Well, the bowl is done, and it looks really good, but I noticed there are some black marks from the chuck jaws. These are not indentations, it's smooth, it's staining from where the metal of the chuck jaws touch the white oak, especially because it's wet, it's green. I should have known that was going to happen. I should have put a piece of cloth or plastic behind it to grab it so that the metal wouldn't touch it. But I suppose it gives me an opportunity to show you what to do. So I'll grab my screw chuck and a piece of plywood. It's just some not very good plywood. You can see all the voids in it. But this is for a jam chuck. I've already used it a couple times as a jam chuck. So I just drilled a hole in the middle, threaded onto the screw chuck nice and tight, and this bowl I don't think it fits. No, it needs to be widened just a little bit more. Let's use the 1/2-inch skew. Oh, there we go. Yes. Now, if this was MDF, or if it was a piece of pine or hardwood, I'd just leave it in here just like this and then turn it. But I think, and especially not to heave it off the chuck in a video, I'm going to bring up the tailstock. I have lost my little spacer block, but that's okay. Just enough to touch that. There we go. Now I can come in with the bowl gouge. Now that might not have done it. No, it didn't. I wonder, I might be able Yes, that got rid of it. Good. No, little tiny bit, but that's on this face. Yes. I'll round that over again. It's already moved, as you can see. That's why you're not hearing a consistent cutting sound. As a matter of fact, let's just do this. There we go. A little bit. Alright. Let's move this. Go. Here. Nice. No marks. Very good. So this is about 2 weeks since that last clip you saw. And you can see this has moved quite a bit on the top and the bottom. It's gone oval. It's also distorted around the knot. I really thought the knot was going to fall out, but it hasn't. So I may take that out myself because I think it's going to look better without it. But what to do now that it doesn't sit flat? You could just put this on a piece of flat sandpaper and rub it back and forth until it sits flat. You could carve tripod feet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount it over this same jam chuck, and I'm just going to turn the foot off, or I'm just going to take a little bit of it off so it'll sit flat, but it'll still be an oval bowl. And this is fine. Like I said, it was a green bowl that started to split, and this is white oak. So all you have to do is look at it wrong and it starts to move and split on you. But it has a wonderful texture on it now because the cellular structure has started to degrade a little bit because all that moisture lost and the cells start to break apart. It has a wonderful texture on it. So I still think it's a wonderful bowl, but I'll show you how I clean up this foot and we'll make it sit flat again, and it'll be good to go. It'll be good to go once again. So the end of my live center come off, and it's just got a couple bearings in there. So I can use it like that, and I can take this little spacer that I used on the screw chuck to put in between the screw chuck and smaller diameter pieces, but I can do the same thing here. I'm not going to put much pressure on it. About 500 RPM. Just a little bit more pressure. I'm just going to use the wing of a freshly sharpened tool, bowl gouge. A little more there, a lot more there. A little bit more. one needs to come off right there. Completely in where it was. It doesn't feel too thin, that's good. I think I'll leave that support there and I will power sand that. We'll do another coat of oil. Might as well just do it all over the whole thing. It'll look nice anyway, have an extra coat of oil on it. There you go. You can't even really see the difference, can you? Also, something I needed to mention, after I finished oiling it, I had forgotten to flatten the base. So I put it back on the lathe and flattened it. I thought I had recorded it with the camera, but I didn't. But anyway, you might have been wondering, well, how's it going to sit flat if he doesn't flatten the base? Exactly. So I flattened the base, and that's where we are now. So here's our finished bowl. You notice the bottom has kind of a little OG shape to it now. But I think it looks really nice. And the detail on the bottom of the foot has a little bit of an oval shape to it as well. But it sits square on the table now. And it looks great. Somebody else might have made the video and said that everything turned out fine, but I wanted to make sure that if the bowl warped, which I assumed it would, I would show you what I might need to do just in case that happened. So I took you through everything. So now it is 100% complete. The only thing that might happen is this knot might get taken out because there's a lot of separation in it, so I don't know if it's going to survive or not. I think it'll look better without it, but I think I'll leave that for a little bit longer to see if it needs it. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed it, this process of a video, and if you subscribe, then you'll see me again soon.